Our brains find change difficult because for our brains it's all about survival. That's the key thing they want to do, is help us survive. So in order to help us survive, there's two key things our brains are constantly trying to do. It's about avoiding threat and it's about seeking reward. But most of all, it's about avoiding threat. To avoid threat, what our brains want to do is they want to be able to predict, because if they can predict what's going to happen, they can protect us better. And what change means is they can't predict because they don't know what's going to happen. So when our brains are faced by change, particularly change that we can't control, they go into a threat state. They go into flight or fight. People will be familiar with the term. And when that happens, literally in our brains, blood goes to those parts of the brain that gets you ready to run away or to fight, and away from the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain where we do all our thinking and planning and analytical thinking. So when we're going through change, our brains get ready for this flight or fight state and get distracted, feel very threatened. We begin to see threats in the workplace where they don't even exist. Any threats that are there, we see them as much bigger than they really are. We start to see colleagues as being a bit of a threat. And we're constantly distracted, trying to make sense of, will I be all right? Will I be okay? And in fact, the research tends to show that the adult brain going through lots of change is very similar to that of a teenage brain. So where people are much more emotional, much more volatile in terms of how they respond to things, much less easy to reason with because we're in that very emotional, distracted state. So that's why we find change difficult, because our brains want to predict, and change stops us doing that.